knee straight, perhaps to the injured midsection, not just a pretty face.
Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Tyler. Welcome back to the Tyler Williams channel. Welcome to another NXT review. Now, NXT is doing their Breakout Star tournament, which is featuring the likes of guys, well, the formerly known as guys like Trevor Lee, DJZ, Shane Strickland, ACH, Jonah Rock, and these are guys that I've liked. I've seen on the independent scene. Of course, ACH worked some New Japan dates before. I know him from last year's Best of the Super Junior, so I'm really curious to see what he can do. I'm a big fan of Shane Strickland, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tune in and watch the whole tournament and review it on this channel. Now, reviewing the whole tournament means, you know, I might as well just watch the whole episode of NXT. Now, I consider myself kind of a lapsed NXT fan in the sense that I like watching the takeovers. I've never missed a I mean, the last year, I guess, I've been working through the takeovers. So I haven't watched them until like the day after or like, you know, a few hours into it. But I've never like missed an entire takeover since they started. Back in 2014 is when I started watching NXT. So for me, I consider myself an NXT fan. But I don't watch it, like, religiously like most people do. Like, I think I would say I stopped watching NXT full-time, week-to-week, after Bobby Roode lost the title, which was, like, 2017, 2016. I stopped watching NXT week-to-week, like, a year or 2 years ago. And it's not because I stopped liking the product. It was just that every time I try to get back into it, I see what the main roster did to the guys I liked. That's what it was. I watched all the guys that I liked. Guys like Neville. Guys like Tyler Breeze. Those guys and guys after them come up into the system, go to Raw and SmackDown, and just get jobbed out every single week. And I started to lose my hope for these guys going up to main roster. And after that, I'm like, why watch NXT? Why get invested in these guys that are just going to go up to Raw and SmackDown and get treated like dog shit? So I feel like once I gained that mindset, I kind of stopped caring about the show. And I still have that mindset. I still think that watching NXT and getting invested in these guys is kind of worthless at this point, considering like the success rate of the guys on Raw and SmackDown. So I don't really get invested in NXT anymore. I just watch for the great wrestling and for the takeovers. I mean, I'm still invested in certain guys like Matt Riddle, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream. I still love those guys, but you know, trying to get into the product is something I really don't think I could do anymore. But enough rambling about that. You guys know why I don't watch NXT week to week, but I want to watch this tournament week to week. So I think for the next few weeks, you'll be seeing NXT reviews. If you guys like it, if you guys want to see NXT reviews, hit the like button. Let's get 10 likes on this video, so I know you guys want to see more of an NXT review and tournament review, so on and so forth. I want to try getting into 205 Live as well, but that's another video for another discussion. Nonetheless, guys, this is your June 26th edition of NXT. So we start off with the Breakout Tournament. We start off with a match between Angel Garza. Is it Angel or Angel? I think it's Angel. Angel Garza and Hakeem Wilde. Now, I'm unfamiliar with Angel Garza. I didn't know who he was up until this point. He looked like a cool guy coming out. But Hakeem Wilde I wasn't familiar with because he is the former DJZ from TNA. You guys remember? Yeah, I remember those sirens going off like, "This is your DJZ." I remember those days, man. Anyway, so the two had their match. It was a really good match. Like, they had some really cool, innovative moves in here. Both men had their stuff. Hakeem Wilde showed off all of his high-flying prowess in this match. He was doing some really dope arm drags and all these types of rotations and whatnot. And Angel Garza, he was doing a lot of defensive moves, a lot of really cool counters. Like, at one point, Hakeem was going for this, like, I don't know what kind of move it was, but Angel threw him in the air for a pop-up PK kick, which was just so cool. And you know, I love PK kicks just for the sound it kind of makes, because it just sounds like very jarring on the chest of their opponent. So I'm a mark for a PK kick. I'm a mark. He also countered one of Hakeem's top rope moves and hit a Spanish fly, which popped the crowd. Only got a 2 count. Garza, I gotta bring this up. So when Garza came out, he was wearing flares to the ring. You know, he had like the red, white, and green, you know, representing Mexican flag, flares. Now, I was watching this guy wrestle with the flares on, and I'm thinking to myself, there's only one guy in wrestling I can think of that wrestles with flares on, and that's Taichi. And Taichi rips off his flares once he gets serious. Once shit gets serious, he rips off them flares. Now, I'm starting to think, when is he going to rip off his flares? And as soon as I said that to myself, this motherfucker rips off his flares. And I said, I knew it. He's Mexican Taichi. I can get behind this guy. Nonetheless, though, the crowd was very much into this match, so that got me into the match by virtue, which brings up the point that if a crowd can make a match whatever they want it to be, it could be a good match, and if the crowd's not into it, you wouldn't know unless you were really focusing on it. The crowd was hot for it, so that was a great thing. In the end, Garza won with this really cool looking butterfly lock, sit out butterfly lock driver. If I could put a clip in here, I will. It was a really cool looking move. And he finished off Hakeem Wild and got the pin. So Angel Garza will be moving on to the next round. Next week, we'll be seeing Isaiah Swerve Scott going up against Cameron Grimes. So the former Shane Strickland versus Trevor Lee. I'm looking forward to that match because, like I said, I'm a big Shane Strickland fan. And Trevor Lee's pretty good. You know, I haven't seen a great Trevor Lee match before, but that's going to be a very good match I can't wait for. So I'm definitely tuning into next week. After that, we get a Kushida promo. Kushida, one of those former New Japan guys that's come through NXT. He's still there, you know. I was kind of hoping that he would have been in this tournament, honestly. Anyway, Kushida, he's coming soon, apparently. After that, we got a recap of Damien Priest's debut last week. He said that you have not seen anything from Damien Priest, and he's right, because I didn't watch NXT last week, so I've seen none of Damien Priest, so he's right on that aspect. We then get to the next match, the Street Profits versus Damien Cutler versus Steve Cutler, Wesley Blake of the Forgotten Sons. This was a pretty decent match. Montez Ford got worked over for the first portion of the match, led to the hot tag from Angelo Dawkins. Let me just say, I've been watching NXT since 2014. I've seen Angelo Dawkins for all 4 years. I wouldn't say I've been following his career the whole time, because in the very beginning, no one cared about Angelo Dawkins. He was just trying to find his tag team partner. This guy's had a different partner every week. First it was Jason Jordan, then it was another guy, then it was another guy, then it was another guy, and it just did not work. It did not click. No one paid attention to Angelo Dawkins. They knew he was there. He tried a singles run. No one cared. He got a new tag team partner. No one cared. And he finally found his tag team partner in Montez Ford, and they complement each other so well. So I'm so happy that he finally won those NXT tag titles with a guy that made his stick work, because these two are the most entertaining act in NXT and have been for like the better part of 2 years. So I'm finally happy that they won the tag titles, and I can't wait to see what other matches they could have down here in NXT. And I'm saying that because I haven't seen a lot of their matches. I've only seen their takeover matches, because once again, I don't watch NXT week to week. Angelo got the hot tag, which he has a really good hot tag in here. Not as good as Jason Jordan from back in the NXT days, but good nonetheless. They hit their tag team moves, set up Montez Ford for his, and might I say, Montez Ford has a very underrated frog splash in all of wrestling, but this frog splash right here, this dude went so high up in the air. He had to leap at least 5 to 10 feet off of the rope. I don't know how he manages to get so much fucking height on these moves, because it's scary in a sense, because it's like, when he leaps up that high, it's like the fall is going to be long. And the fall's not long. The fall lasts like all of 1 second. But still, like, it just, I can't. That guy just has a fucking amazing frog splash. The thing everyone should know about. Nonetheless, he gets a scary height on that frog splash, hits it on Wesley Blake, goes for the pin. He's pulled out of the ring by Jackson Riker, who lays him out, gets a DQ finish. They're saved by Fabian Eichner and Oni Lorcan, who kind of come in as the cavalry. They hand them their titles, and they go away from there. So it looks like they're building up Oni Lorcan and Fabian Eichner versus the Street Profits. I'm all for it. After this, we get another match between Nikos Ricos. That's a interesting name. Versus Keith Lee. Now, this is Keith Lee's return match, I believe. He's been out in injury for a little bit. So, I was expecting a squash match, and that's what I got. It's very odd to see babyface squash matches, but it worked. You know, he had his double hand chop. Not as loud as his usual hand chops, but nonetheless. Double hand chop, pounced him, hit his finisher, got the win. Keith Lee finished him off in like a minute, 30 seconds. But keep this guy rolling. I want to see another Diamond Dijak and Keith Lee match. Or Keith Lee versus Velveteen Dream for the NXT North America Championship. That'd be the goal too. I'll watch it. I'd watch it. Anyway, we got an NXT celebration, an NXT Championship celebration with Adam Cole, baby. He was flying first class in a jet, just flaunting, just stunting on us that he's the NXT champion. I still firmly believe that his matches with Johnny Gargano were great, but that's it. Nothing more than that. All the 5 stars, all the people saying it's one of the greatest matches in NXT history. I think they're overblowing it. I don't think it was anywhere near the level of Johnny versus Andrade Cien Almas or Johnny versus Tommaso Ciampa. I don't think that Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole had nearly any of the storytelling in comparison to Johnny versus Tommaso Ciampa from NXT TakeOver New Orleans, but that's just me. You guys tell me, which match do you think was better? Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver, I guess the Adam Cole match is better. Whichever one you guys think was better. Whichever one you think was better versus Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa from NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I want you guys to tell me which match you think was better and why, because I'm curious about what you guys think about on that matter. But then we get to the main event. Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai in a steel cage match for the NXT Women's Championship. Quick note here. I like that Shayna Baszler came out with her MMA gloves on. It added a nice element to the match, because I felt like whenever Shayna punched Io in the chest or in the gut, it just felt more jarring because she had those gloves on. And, with her having that UFC background, you think that it's kind of like a shoot punch or whatever. It just added a nice aesthetic to the Shayna Baszler character, so I liked it. I don't think she should wear the gloves every week, but like cage matches, big time matches, definitely have her wearing gloves. I liked it. And it's little nuances like that. That's why NXT's winning, and Raw and SmackDown. I see why people stop watching it and start watching NXT more often. As far as steel cage matches go, it was good. One of the more entertaining cage matches I've seen in a while. I think that the cage match that Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston had was very fucking boring. The finish to that match was very, very interesting in the sense that it's never been done before, and I liked it. But the cage match itself was really stale. And this cage match, it was interesting. They had stuff going on. It followed your normal cage match formula. They wrestled a little bit, send each other into the cage, building up anticipation of climbing the cage. They would get sent back down. Then they start climbing up the cage, getting to the top, and they would get sent back down by their opponent. Do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. It's your normal steel cage formula. We've seen it time and time again. And it all led up to Io Shirai finally getting to the top of the cage. Looks like she's about to win the match, but then Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir come out and they try to stop her. Candice LeRae comes out and tries to stop Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir. Jessamyn Duke slides into the ring. Candice LeRae times to the top of the cage, and it's a crossbody onto Jessamyn Duke. Cool stuff. Not to be topped, however, by Io Shirai, who not only leaps off the top of the cage on Shayna Baszler, but turns around and hits a side moonsault off of the cage on the Shayna Baszler. It's one thing to climb onto a cage and jump off of it, because I'm not going to sit here and underrate it, because it's a daring move. You're putting your body on the line when you leap off that fucking cage. That is a high elevation you are jumping off to, and you're expecting your opponents to catch you, and if they don't, you're fucked. I still remember that moonsault Cody did off of the cage in back in 2013 and missed, and I was feeling for his knees that night. And when you turn your back on your opponent and you're leaping off and you're not knowing where you're going to land, and you might fuck up the way that, I wouldn't say Cody fucked up, I would say his opponents fucked up that night, but you're not knowing if you're going to actually hit him or not. That's some daring shit. So I give Io Shirai all the props in the world for doing that move. It was very cool, and it was a good way to get the crowd hyped. Nonetheless, after this, Io Shirai tried to climb out of the cage by the cage door, climbing out of the ring. Shayna Baszler stopped her, pulled her back in. Shayna would try to climb out. Io put her back in near Battle Get Out near the cage door. Shayna was choking Io out with her Kirifuda clutch. She tried to climb out, but Io Shirai grabbed the cage door and started slamming it into the head of Shayna Baszler. Shayna basically went quote-unquote unconscious and fell out of the ring through the middle rope and got the win. Wasn't as unique as Kofi Kingston leaping through the middle rope to get the win, but it was a cool finish nonetheless, and Shayna Baszler retained her NXT Women's Championship. After the match, Io Shirai, pissed, turns on Candice LeRae, lays into her with a steel chair, gets her up in the air. Chair is standing on its legs, mind you, and suplexes Candice LeRae onto the standing chair before leaving the ring to a crowd full of boos. And yeah, that was your NXT review, guys. I thought it was a good episode. You know, the last few NXT episodes I tried to watch, they weren't really crazy or good or anything. But I like this one. I like this one. So I'm very much excited for what's going to happen next week. Anyway, thank you all for watching this NXT review. What did you guys think? Do you want to see more of these? Let me know down below. I love you guys always, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out, guys.